Welcome back to the AD 1926 video series. Today we're only going to go from Carthage to Webb City, not very far, but a lot to see in the 1926 era. We left off here where 66 originally went over the Spring River and continue along what is now River Street. This was 66 from 1926 to 1934. As you can see, the train's not moving, so I'm going to have to detour around to the later version of 66, which is okay, it's just kind of funny. Observation about how many times early 66 crosses tracks. This here is from a different day. We're looking eastbound right now. So we're going to turn around and continue along River Street. Here at this stop sign, this is where the original 66 joins the later 66. That's the one most people take. But we're going to detour off of 66 for a second, and I'm going to take you down to the square of Carthage because this was the cultural center of town. We're headed down Howard Street, and we're going to turn right on 3rd, and this entire block here, this was the site of the old Harrington Hotel. And here's the Harrington Hotel. It's that whole block. The book I got it from said this picture was from 1935. I don't think that's correct because of the horse and buggies. Nevertheless, this is what it looks like today. And here's a look inside the Harrington Hotel. This was also dated 1935 in that book. This is another old hotel, I think the 1880s. It burned in 1966, and at that time the Joplin newspaper described it as ancient. Here's another Route 66 era hotel, the Drake, built in 1922, now the Drake Apartments. I've noticed an imbalance of some Route 66 travelers focusing too much of the motels when early 66 travel was also hotels. Look at this guide from 1946 from Rittenhouse. The Drake is mentioned. It also mentions the Crane, which would have been this building here. The center bit, in fact, became the Crane Theater. So this is not just inspiration for Vacancy, No Vacancy, but also the show will go on. Rittenhouse also mentioned an Arlington Hotel. I haven't been able to find any information about it, but I wanted to see if it existed in 1926. Sure enough, here is an ad from 1919, so it existed at least from 1919 to 1946, if not earlier and later. There was also an opera house downtown and other things we could get into, but for now, let's head out of Carthage on original 66. This is Oak Street. Soon becomes renamed Inca Road, making me think of Frank Zappa, of course, and then we turn left on Imperial Road to stay westbound on original 66. Just to the south of here, there is a campsite. So to get the flavor of 1926 travel, I went down there and camped for the night. It's called Camp Mi Casa. It's actually located on a later alignment of Route 66. As we leave Carthage, Imperial Road is renamed Iowa Lane in Brooklyn Heights, and we take this until it dead ends. As you can see, Iowa Lane dead ends here, but we're going to pick it up on the other side of the highway. This is also Iowa Lane. If you look closely, you can see how the road originally curved to the left, joins Index Road, crosses the highway, resumes on the other side on County Lane 180, turns right to join New 66, crosses the highway yet again, and here we are on Index Road. Just to the west, the road is then called Old 66. And I love this little passage because it's just nestled among the trees. Next we head into Carterville, and we got this bank from 1907 on our right. Coming up on the left is a bank from 1901. So we're getting this flavor of 1926-66 here. On the right, there may have been a theater in this little one-story building, or maybe it was in the taller one next door. That was next door to this 1900 building. On the left is an old gas station. I've seen 1920s, I've also seen 1930s. Not sure which is correct. Coming into Webb City. According to Missouri State Parks, the building on the left was built in 1883 and housed an upper house on the second floor. Here's a better look at that building. It became the Middle West Hotel, so we've got inspiration for 1926, vacancy note, vacancy, and the show will go on. If we look to the right, we'd find another old opera house, but we're going to look to the left, to the side of the old Newland Hotel. Right here, if you notice these 6 windows, it's the same as this building here, and to the left of it, this theater, that was a part of the whole Newland Hotel structure. It's fun to think that an early 66 traveler might have stayed at that Middle West Hotel or the Newland Hotel, or may have seen a show at one of the opera houses or a movie at that theater. So I'm getting a lot of inspiration for 1926, vacancy, no vacancy, and the show will go on just by going through this little downtown area of Webb City. Coming up on the right is one of my 26 gas stations. It dates back to the early 30s, so it's out of the scope of the 1926 movement, but because it relates to the Route 66 suite, I did want to point it out. So next, we're going to turn left on Jefferson. Not a lot of people know that original 66 turns here. A lot of people turn left on Madison, but apparently it turned here instead. notice you can't go straight. It forces you to turn right. So we're going to just zoom across and continue along on the other side. .66 curves to the right here and stay straight, but there are some new houses built in the way, so we're just going to end our video here. So if you'd like to continue along in our AD 1926 travels, be sure to subscribe at patreon.com/Route 66 Suite.